Welcome to 5 Stripe Weekly. Coming off our first trophy of the season, we head into an MLS Cup rematch with Portland. We review and preview next.
Welcome to the show, 5 Stripe fam. I'm AJ, this is Mark. Before we get into it, become part of the notification squad by hitting the bell next to the subscribe button on YouTube or hop over from Facebook and subscribe. 2 5 Stripe Weeklies in 1 week. You guys are being spoiled. But guys, Campeones Cup, it had the feeling of maybe it might be a slug, it might be a glorified friendly, who knows what type of feel it would actually have. And, you know, you had the talk of PT Martinez, who was pretty much saying, Club America, we're going to beat them.
Yeah.
Jose Martinez, right?
I'm a winner, not a loser.
Yeah, like where he wants to, win the cup and not be considered a loser.
Right, exactly.
And so it's one of those, they talked about a big game.
Yeah.
And you didn't know like how serious they're going to take it. But Miguel Herrera, their gaffer, pretty much like laid out that they were going to start a very strong 11.
Which he did. I mean, it was identical to their league match over the weekend, with the exception of Giovanni
Dos Santos.
Right.
Yeah.
With the exception of him. And I think he's new to the team anyway, so he's probably being worked in. But that was a regular 11 from them.
Yeah, exactly. And it might be a second choice keeper because Memo Ochoa is just coming in.
But he's played.
Yeah, and so, it's a very strong side that we played. Also, Paul Aguilar, like one of their historic players as well. I mean, this was no slouch of a team, as much as any Mexican fan wants to be salty about. It really was.
No, I mean, but I think, because, they were salty about the result, certainly, which tells you that they were taking it seriously.
They had lost some players in the transfer window, yes, agreed.
Right, but in terms of a current team, though, that's as good as, Roger Martinez, Ibarra, those are two of the best players on the continent.
Yeah, and, we're in mid-season, but we're also in a transition season as well.
Yeah.
And we also rotated 5 regular players out of our starting 11. So, I mean, this was a pretty fair matchup, I feel like. And it was, I think, a competitive, intense, and a blast to watch, I feel like.
From minute 1, really.
Yeah. And, from minute 1 and really quickly, minute 5, Emerson Hyndman, he finds the back of the net through a beautiful combination play. Darlington Nagbe showing what he does, match in, match out.
Yep.
And, just that link-up play. Finding Pereira, who kind of one-touches and chips it.
That pass.
Yes, and Emerson Hyndman is able to coolly slot it with his left foot for the first goal of the game, and it was like, oh man, came on.
I think on the last podcast I said I had a favorite goal versus Orlando. I have a new favorite goal. I mean, it was 10 passes in total. It started from a Club America corner, actually.
Yeah.
They tried to break down the left. Nagbe gets fouled, but we retain possession. Ball rotates to the right. And there's that link up play. Nagbe gets on the ball again, passes it to Pereira again. That one-touch pass was phenomenal. And Emerson, very cool finish. Beautiful play. And the fact that they can create that goal with players like Pereira and Hyndman, who maybe aren't as regular of 11s. It bodes well. It shows you that this team's really settling in and they found their identity again.
Yeah, and I think it's guys who've at least kind of started in the past month a little bit, so they have a little bit of regular, game time, so that they're at least a little bit sharp. And if there's anybody on the pitch that you combine with and score that type of goal, I feel like it's Emerson Hyndman. Like, he is always a guy that's on a pass and move, and to finish it off like that and to start off a cup final like this.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Absolutely.
And so, going in further, it looked like we, maybe wanted to have a little bit more control. It was pretty back and forth, and Club America were really, I think, threatening for a while after that.
Yeah.
Especially almost identical play before they actually scored.
Yeah, Ibarra coming in off the right. Crashes the crossbar with that shot, and then it eventually scores in a very similar fashion. Roger Martinez coming in on the left, dribbling. He was probably their best player for the match.
Yeah, probably, definitely kind of tore Franco Escobar to shreds.
Yeah, had him on skates
to come off. Unfortunately, it looks like a hamstring injury, but we don't know the extent and severity.
Right.
But he was there was a feeling of it, and that's why he came off so quickly. There was ice.
Yeah, he was icing for the rest of the match, right?
Yeah, so it's worrying because he has pretty much just come back, and we were playing so well.
Right.
And now
I'm hoping that was a precautionary move. I mean, he wasn't limping too hard, but hamstrings also are tricky. So
exactly,
if he has to miss a match or two, hopefully that's the extent of it.
Exactly, and that I would be okay with, because I think if we have 3 healthy center backs plus a Michael Parkhurst, then it's we can probably at least alleviate that a little bit.
Speaking of center backs, Pogba was fantastic again. I mean, like, this man, like, talk about Atlanta, like, picking up players, and Pogba's another example. Not the biggest profile, but he's done really well with
It's
the
almost
team.
scrap heap a little bit because, I mean, Flo Pogba pretty much hadn't played for a year and a half, didn't sign with anybody, and we pretty much pick him up, and he has the goods. Obviously, it's apparent, what he brings to the table, that physicality, that, good on the ball. I mean, it just... I think on a one-on-one, even on if a ball over the top, you favor Flo Pogba 100% of the time almost. Yeah. And Emerson Hyman, who we have on loan from Bournemouth. Yeah. I mean, stuff like that. Dion Pereira, who we picked up from Watford's academy. I mean, it's just like guys who are very under the radar and are doing the job for us, and are able to do the job for us to beat a Club America. But anyway, we'll get there, but and so it's 1-1, and it's tight, it's one of those though, we win a penalty from PT Martinez, and PT Martinez I think had a hell of a match to be able to not only win this penalty, but just throughout the match, showed that industry, that creativity. Yeah.
I loved also the way he would drop deep and then switch play. I mean, like, he really has an eye for a pass too, and he's really starting to show that.
Exactly. It's stuff that we all knew was in PT Martinez. It's a matter of, I think this month he's really shown his ability, and I think showing that work rate on top of that, I think it's really endearing himself to a lot of more fans.
Yeah, as well as the manager.
Yeah, as well as yeah, absolutely, for sure. And so he wins that penalty, and then comes kind of the lowest point of this match for us, which is not really that bad, I feel like. We were all hoping, if we can get up 2-1 on them, okay, not too bad. We can get into halftime. This is looking pretty good. And Jose Martinez, he does the hop, the skip, and unfortunately hits it where the keeper is able to stop it, but I feel like there's some encroachment, man.
There's some encroachment. He's not quite on the line. I
think he sold the keeper to where he moved early, and so that's good. But with that new rule that you have to stay on your line with 1 foot, at least, it actually probably helped him a little bit in reading it a little longer. But there was also the defender in the box early as well to be able to clear it. And so, should it have been retaken? I think so. And if there are people that, from the Club America side, if you're that type of fan, then sure, there aren't any retakes. This is blah blah blah. Like, no, you're able to retake it for a reason. This isn't gym class. Like, you're able to take it for a reason because there is breaking of rules. Right. But and there's people that enforce that or should be enforcing that and didn't spot it for whatever reason. Yeah. So if you're saying that Club America's, I got a ton of Club America fans that were all up in the comments saying, oh, the refs were on Atlanta United's side and blah, blah, blah. This is a large example of one that absolutely should have been retaken. Yeah. So either way, unfortunately he misses it, and the call is let to be stood for that, and we go 1-1 in the half, and it's not so. I mean, you have a feeling. It's like, is this dread? Is this like, I don't know.
But I mean, the match through halftime was pretty exciting, and
it was very exciting.
It was kind of chippy as well. Yeah. Even Gressel mixing it up with a couple of players.
Oh, sure.
And so
I have loved seeing Gressel be really, really use that aggressiveness and kind of stand up for his fellow players and whatnot as well. It's been I think good to see. It's like that last match in LAFC with Diomande, who they were jawing back and forth. I mean, maybe it kind of cost us the last kind of minute or so, but I think you galvanized the team a little bit in that sense, and you showed that fight. I think it really helped us. So,
but I think definitely by halftime we knew we were in a match, and it was clearly something that all the players, the managers were invested in. So
right. And so, I mean, coming out of that half, unfortunately...
Club America definitely had the advantage for that opening 10-15 minutes.
I think so. And I think it was because in the manner in which we conceded and that we missed that penalty.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, we were shook a little bit maybe. But I think Alec Can, coming in... He made an early save. It was great.
Yeah, there are a couple deflected shots he had to save as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I mean, he was mostly good, but on that corner, he does have to claim that. When it falls on the foot of an attacker in the 6-yard box.
Right. Yeah, it should have been probably cleared out before then, I feel like. Yes, he maybe should have handled the loose ball on the second one, on the second carom, but... because it already went in the first time anyway. Right. But I think command of the box just wasn't there.
That's something that Guzan is very good at as well.
Yeah, and I think the defense was a little bit out to sea to begin with. Sure. Flo Pogba kind of just let it kind of go past him a little bit. I think he ducked. And so, that kind of stuff happens, I think, with kind of a makeshift defense when you have 5 new guys come in and that aren't used to playing together.
And then it's Roger Martinez at the end of it, so he's probably Kenny operator, they probably, Club America also coming into this match, very good on set pieces, actually. Yeah. So it's not a surprise that they, had some good corner routines.
Right, indeed. And so, I mean, it is 2-1 from just kind of a shocker of a goal that could have been handled better. But I don't think, in terms of LA United, we were too phased by it. I think, coming out of the half, it didn't look the best, but I think we galvanized and we started to play a lot better, I think, right after that.
Yeah.
And I think it's also, speaking to, I think, the type of fans that were at the stadium, yes, it was a little bit less. It was like 40,000 and, less than the 45,000 that's usually there if it's just the lower bowl that's open.
Yeah.
A lot of Club America fans there, but maybe a little bit of both, where they were kind of Club America fans first and also Atlanta United fans. And so
I have a buddy from work who's exactly he specifically bought tickets to this match to be able to see them. I think it's great to see Mexican fans in the area come out to this match. I remember attending the Atlanta Monterrey match. Wasn't not only Monterrey fans, but they were Tigres fans, Santos fans, Club America fans.
They just want to see a Liga MX team.
Exactly.
I mean, it's one of those very storied teams. Obviously, Club America have over 40 titles or something like that.
You either love them or you hate them if you're a Liga MX fan.
Right, and so you come either to see them win or see them lose. Either way, it's a fun time.
It was a great atmosphere too, as a result.
And then you have I saw stories of generations of Club America fans, maybe are kind of the grandparents. You have the Atlanta United fans, kind of the more newer generation. It's super cool, man. You're able to spread the love of soccer through kind of the history of teams in that sense.
I think that shows you the incentive for Club America and other Mexican teams as well to participate in this and really ingratiate themselves into a new market, the North American market.
Exactly.
And I think that's what all MLS and Liga MX teams want to do eventually.
Yeah, and that is, I think, the point with Campeones Cup is what I think you're alluding to, is that Campeones Cup is bringing eyeballs to Liga MX, and that's fantastic. That's obviously, more things that they can, get into, more advertisement, all that type of stuff that I think helps the game overall. And so that's fantastic. But anyway, back to the game. So, we are kind of, getting it around and,
they responded. Atlanta responded pretty well.
We definitely responded pretty well. I mean, I would say, with a ridiculous golazo by Jeff Lorenowitz.
He couldn't hit him.
If you know anything about almost MLS history, it's Jeff Lorenowitz is a guy who can score bangers. or at least just shoot from distance anyway in that sense. Because, he used to take some penalties when he was with other teams and whatnot, with the Revolution and Colorado Rapids and whatnot. And I think, I think he used to captain, I think, the Rapids as well. Mm-hmm. He has that captain experience, and, he really, I think, showed that a little bit in this match. He, fouled professionally a lot.
He played with the yellow for about an hour, which is actually pretty impressive.
Yeah, it was definitely, I think, a little bit worrying at first. Sure. It was like, okay, is he off his paces? Yeah. Like, is this game a little too quick for him right now? Obviously not. I mean, that hit, it was just smart. Nagby lays it off to him from a rebound. And
one touch and then bang. Oof, man. It took a slight deflection, but it would have been on target at least, I think.
Exactly. It was on goal. It was just a matter of, it went probably a little higher than what was maybe savable for Jimenez, their goalkeeper. So he was frozen. He couldn't do anything about it at all. I think it was probably going to beat him, maybe far corner anyway. So, Larry just is, oh my God. It's a shocker. It's like, holy crap.
Yeah.
I think I tipped over my couch. Like, it was outrageous. I was just like, he did not just, yes, he did.
Right, you're right.
Oh my God, game on, 2-2, let's go. And that's that type of goal that can really, I think, turn the tide of the game. And I think it did, because they were absolutely shocked. They were just like, how do we allow that type of goal in?
It was funny because, when Atlanta took the lead early on, Club America responded almost pretty quickly. And then this case, it was flip-flop. I don't think Atlanta were down for more than 5 minutes before we equalized. And so, it's that type of thing where you're in an intense match, you finally get an advantage, and then right away the match is tied again.
Exactly.
It's got to take a little bit out of you.
Oh, for sure. It was actually only 2 minutes later. So, not too bad. And then I think Joseph Martinez, he rectifies that penalty really well. Not only with the penalty, which we'll get to, but he was winning fouls. Able to get Bruno Valdez to commit to that foul when he really wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah,
he wasn't. He was. It was pretty much 1 against 3 if he went into the box.
Right.
He had no chance really. Although I buy my chances if Joseph's in the box anyway. But he went out to the wing and he, got that second yellow card on Valdez.
Also, Joseph almost scored from open play. Pereira did some nice work on the left wing, and
that's true.
The goalkeeper, it was actually a really good save because he's going one way, he sticks a foot out. Yeah. Joseph even dapped him up because it was that good of a save.
It was.
But
and even before that, there was a little dribbler from a little deflection that hits the post and goes out, and it really almost could have gone in. Or just there were a ton of just really I think not only good chances but also missed chances.
But I want to talk about the sequence that led to the penalty, right? And so Atlanta United takes a corner, and Club America try to play out, but we win the ball back. And how often have we talked about on this podcast winning the ball back in the opponent's area?
Oh yeah.
And because it was a corner, Pogba's still up there. He gets, and I really have to credit him on this because he opens his body up to receive the ball and then goes back the other way at the last second. Defender just crashes into him. It's really good ball skills from a center back.
Yeah. He knows exactly what he's doing, and he earns that penalty really, really well. Yeah. And PT might be calling for but
poor
there's
PT.
No. Joseph Martinez, he's going to step up on this moment. And Frank de Boer even said afterwards that, I don't think that, I almost feel like it was almost 100% that he was going to make this one. And I think, I really didn't have a huge worry, but, in the back of your mind, is this like a Atlanta moment? It wasn't.
Yeah.
And so it was fantastic. Joseph Martinez doesn't hop this time.
Top corner.
Yeah, and is able to get it past Jimenez with aplomb, and it's beautiful. It's and he kind of does a little hop and then the celebration a little bit with the King's kneel, and But with that, we're up 3-2. There is Valdez getting sent off. I think it's the 72nd minute.
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that. And so you have pretty much 18 minutes where, we're up. They're down a man. We can, kind of get a fourth and put this away.
Yeah.
Let's just, let's really just put a punctuation mark on this. It died a little bit
Yeah.
in this match until the very last kind of minute when the keeper Jimenez went up for the corner.
Yeah.
They started to build some of their attack a little bit, and it was very much squeaky bum time. Even though, like Nagby, he had the chance to. I think Barco had the chance to. To get it in. And
but well defended, and then it's crazy from there. Who took it? It was Perez who took the shot, right?
Yeah.
From distance. That.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so
the defender heads it away. It was crazy.
It was definitely like what a way to end that type of match too.
Right.
And all the while you have Miguel Herrera just losing his mind.
Yeah. He got a yellow, an assistant coach got a yellow.
Yeah. If they didn't take it seriously, like I couldn't tell because
Right.
they absolutely were losing their minds, and especially with some VAR calls, with some whatnot. So it was definitely, I think, Club America were definitely being very aggressive. We're trying to get away with some dark arts, some late fouls, some afters a lot as well, but I think they were found out on that, and VAR definitely was able to kind of, I think, help us a little bit in noticing those things, because PT was kicked in the chest for one of the penalties, and so it's one of those things where if you're gonna be a little salty about things, I think you should rewatch the match, because there were a ton of things that. I
think at the end of the day, Atlanta deserved the win. I think it was.
We were assertive.
Yeah.
We were a team that we're not scared going up against a Liga MX side.
Right.
That's the main part here, is that I think a lot of other clubs might go in a little tentative, a little bit like, we might feel this one out.
Right.
We might hit them on the counter.
Right.
Try to absorb as much pressure as possible, and then no, we were just on the front foot
from the first minute, like we talked about.
And it's just how we want Atlanta United to play and what we love to see from this team.
Exactly.
And it's been coming, I think, for a while in terms of this type of setup, this system. Kind of changing towards more of a high press in terms of more kind of riskier play, allowing those kind of one-on-ones to happen in the back, because you have players who can handle them. Yes, Miles Robinson didn't start, but he did come on later, and I think he was a factor.
Yeah, for sure.
It was a little worrying, I think, earlier, because I think you were having to see Pogba have to, in terms of pace, have to chase down a ball or something like that, and that wasn't the most reassuring. LGP as well, it can be 50-50 a little bit, and so I think with that we were completely very solid. There were some chances that they had that they put away, but I think. Is it worrying on those type of chances? I think they are that type of team that can put away those chances. Against a lesser team, then maybe you don't have to worry as hard. And
at the end of the day, like you got to look at the lineup. You got to look at who your opponent is. So quality of opponent I think definitely matters here.
Right. So, and I think on that goal that kind of sliced us apart on the back post that Ibarra put in, I think Pereira was just maybe too far away from Florentino Pogba to begin with.
Yeah, he was kind of getting beat.
Play.
He was kind of getting beat on the back post by Ibarra.
Yeah,
he kind of struggled, I think, against Ibarra, which is understandable.
He's not a defender per se,
right.
in which a wingback position kind of entails a little bit more.
Right.
And I think you see why Justin Miram is maybe kind of the first choice.
Yeah, because when Miram came in, he was helping out defensively a lot.
Exactly. Yeah, he's got that little bit of like kind of canny know-how.
Yeah, and he's been playing position a little bit longer too, so definitely
a bit. I mean, he actually hadn't played wingback at all before he actually came to Atlanta United, but he's been playing on the wing a lot.
Yeah.
And so on the left wing, he's able to do what he does, which is beat guys on the dribble and create things from the wing. So, but either way, I mean, you also have, though, unfortunately, coming in and seeing Eric Remedi missing from the 11.
Yeah, well, it's from the 18, right?
Or from the 18 completely, and it's like, is he? What happened?
Right.
And it's apparent. It's maybe a quad injury. And so we'll see the extent of that, but it's still unknown what that is.
Hopefully not.
But you would have thought, maybe he would have started, or and it's like,
yeah,
what?
I mean, I think Rometty is one of those a candidate to be rested as well, especially with Loreno, which there. He's shown he can fill in spots, and with the tough stretch coming up, maybe you want a fresher Rometty. So I was hoping it was partially. I'm again hoping this is more precautionary and that we'll see him against Portland or Orlando. We'll see.
We'll see. But and so let's get into some of the post-match quotes then. One of the interesting things De Boer said afterwards was, quote, "This was a man's game. You want to have these kind of games almost every week because you saw the quality of those players from Club America, and we competed very well with them." This was a man's game part is maybe some poor word usage, but we won't nitpick it completely. But given the women's game ridiculous comments that he made,
I feel like that's a comment that people are moving away from too, because I remember it was Mexico's coach during the Men's World Cup kind of said similar things and took some heat for it as well. I don't think it really needs to be said. That's just me.
So it's one of those things where you might need to choose his words a little bit more carefully in the future. But he also added that I'm very proud of what they showed today because it was a difficult game. But if you see where we were in the beginning and where we are now, then you can say we made a major step forward. It's good for MLS, especially good for Atlanta United, of course, that we can compete against these kind of teams. The game was, I think, fantastic to watch because it was so up and down. Agreed. Yeah, I mean, it definitely was competitive for us to be able to beat a team like Club America with that type of history. You can see by just Googling La MLS on Twitter how salty these fans are about it. It's if you have a little bit of time and want to entertain yourself, just go ahead and do that.
But on stateside, I think there was a really positive reaction all around, not just from Atlanta fans about what this match turned out to be. Of course, an MLS side getting one over against Club America is going to be
always
celebrated.
Fantastic.
But I think in general, it was a case of this actual match lended legitimacy to the competition, and so it's like next season. Whoever it is, hopefully it's us again.
Hopefully it's us again. It hopefully is as competitive or even if not more competitive. And I mean, that's the thing about a competition. Okay, yes, like we mentioned before, it might not have the most history, and this might be kind of more glorified for both sides to be able to get kind of optics on both of their products.
Right.
But I think at the end of the day, you saw what type of competition this was, and you saw two teams that really wanted to win it for pride, for a trophy, and I think it's great. I mean, I think that you have to kind of start history to make history.
Exactly.
So that's an absolute thing that if you want to write off this competition completely as a friendly, I mean, I don't think you can really do that completely now. It really looks like it's something that I think is for the future that could be built into something more.
And Atlanta United gets to put their name on another trophy, and when you go back, we will be the first MLS team to have won this competition. And
ain't too bad.
We're making history.
Indeed. So with the 5 players that came in, that rotation, you kind of saw, so we didn't really miss a beat. I mean, it really looked pretty fluid, and it seemed like the guys, except on defense, obviously on that set piece, but in attack, it looked really, really good. And Jeff Lerwitz, he kind of talked about it as well, where he says, I want to play every week. Flo Pogba wants to play every week. Dion wants to play every week. Emerson wants to play every week. But at the same time, we support each other and we want to win. We have the Open Cup coming up. We have the run through the playoffs. I think it's more of just about coming together as a group, believing in what we're doing and being a professional. When your number gets called, you step up and you perform. And step up and perform. They absolutely did.
Yeah.
All those guys that he mentioned, they absolutely had a major factor in this match.
We're seeing the rotation that we were promised, I think.
Yeah, indeed. And so, it's a big props to the front office as well for bringing in these type of guys.
And De Boer for, blooding these guys in and getting them comfortable in positions to where they can come in and have an impact.
Yeah, indeed. And so it's been, I think it's been kind of culminating into a performance like this, and hopefully we can build on it again for the U.S. Open Cup. But so Joseph Martinez also mentioned after the match that when I retire, I will say that I beat America. And that's, yes.
Joseph is always the king of quotes.
King of quotes, always great. And it's just, I mean, I think also gives a compliment to Club America here, is that, I mean, they are a very historic team. And for us to be able to beat them, I think, really speaks volumes. And so it's massive that we did. I know there was a comment in one of the videos that I say massive a lot. Okay, all right. There's your massive. But just for you. But so anyway, Jeff Lemurwitz also talked about some other things after in talking about the kind of Eastern Conference. He said, we're chasing Philly for first place in the Eastern Conference for sure, but we're also trying to win road games, which we haven't done. Portland's a huge test this Sunday. They're a good team. Obviously, they're the team we beat in the 2018 MLS Cup Final. I'm sure they want to stick it to us, for sure. Then you have Orlando, then you have play in the Open Cup, and then you go to Philly. I mean,
that's the rest of the month,
a lot of games, a lot of really big tests.
A lot of high-profile matches, Yeah,
it's not going to be easy. I mean, it's pretty much maybe Cup Finals for the rest of this month, maybe.
Yeah.
But because Portland's gonna play us tough, Orlando's gonna play us tough.
The actual Cup final, and then Philly may come maybe for first place in the East.
Yeah, we'll be really ready for the playoffs, so that'll be good.
Yeah.
But so anyway, that wraps up that Campeones Cup, and yes, we have a trophy. We are the champions, and that's fantastic. But let's get into the news, and yes, we are the first team since 1998 to beat a Liga MX team in a cup final. Then that's when DC United beat Deportivo Toluca in the 1998 CONCACAF Champions Cup. That's when it was called a Champions Cup. And so, I mean, that's quite a while. At least, I mean, in context, that's not every single season it's going to be a MLS team and a Liga MX team, but I mean, that's the last time that, an MLS team beat one. So.
Well, I mean, we saw a number of MLS Liga MX matchups in Champions League, and only one MLS team prevailed out of those matchups, So.
Yeah, exactly. So, so also after the match, President Darren Eales is kind of playing on his running joke now. And when we win a trophy, he goes to bed with it. And it's Sweet Dreams Atlanta. And yes, absolutely it was Sweet Dreams. I mean, you love to see that. I mean, it's just, Darren Eales.
So good at social media.
Yeah, so good at social media. Always the guy with the banter. Love it. And speaking of banter, you have Michael Parkhurst and Donington Nagbe, who are, Donington Nagbe, he's always on the shoe phone right after in the locker room selfies, and you're always wondering who he's calling, and now we finally know it's Michael Parkhurst, who's on the other end of the line.
I wonder what the reception is like.
I know, yeah, exactly. Oh, I imagine it's fantastic because Mercedes-Benz, I mean, it's just like, they have all the fiber optic cables. It's like, it's absolutely amazing there.
Yeah.
But, and so even after the match today in social media, Parky, he almost was a truce. He was like, okay, it was nothing's gonna happen. We had a truce for the chance to win the cup, but then maybe like an hour or two later, he is savage. He absolutely is ice cold on Donington Nagbe.
It's how he set it up. That's
God. He calls, Donington Nagbe, yes, you are probably the best two-way midfielder in North America, but you let Jimenez beat you on the dribble?
The goalkeeper?
Oh my God. It's, I mean, it's fair because it's a great point. And Donington Nagbe, he was like, that goalkeeper was fast. I mean, and when you look at the replay, he was. I mean,
he had some touches.
Yeah, and I think he's a goalkeeper. I guess he looks fairly spry. he had energy reserved, for the last bit of the match.
Yeah.
Donovan Nagbe had been running circles around Club America for the entirety.
He was tired. If I was Nagbe, I would say I was tired.
Yeah, exactly. So, but no excuses for him. I think, he still, either way, that's savage, man. Gosh. But more gold from post-match. This video from Jeff Marinowitz.
Atlanta United win the Campeones Cup, It was a good win for everybody. It was a solid game, and happy to score the goal tonight.
What went through your mind when you scored the goal?
Came out to Darlington, and I told him to shoot, but he let it from me, and took a touch and didn't think about it after that. Thank you.
I think he was just kind of speaking to Campeones Cup, the social media accounts, and it's just like it's triple or quadruple feeling of just like, how do I do this social media? I don't want to do this. But then his kindness and his quiet intensity comes out as well. It's amazing, and I think it just encompasses Larry to the nth degree. That's just what he is, and even more so. Payson Schwinn on Twitter, he had this tweet out, and this is amazing. I mean, if you know anything about Jeff Marinowitz, is that he's a little bit more analog than digital, and he's not on social media, and so he's the quote or the tweet said, "This is Jeff watching the highlight of his goal tomorrow with a newspaper." God. The savagery is just...
It's so Jeff.
It's abundant. It's abundant after this.
Such a dad.
Oh my God. So amazing stuff. And, pretty much anytime we have a big win, there's just so much good stuff coming from the team. It's hard to not, want to consume it all. And, see
Imagine not
they're
rooting for
doing.
this team.
Exactly. It's just, they're so lovable, man.
Yeah.
It's just awesome. But, moving on though, Atlanta United 2, kind of topic-wise anyway, there was a kind of spotting of Luis Fernando, a Atlanta United 2 player who was pretty much training with the first team squad before this match. He was, I think, very much in all the shots in the locker room during the trophy celebration. I mean, shout out to the eagle-eyed CW3 and Joey Machio for the heads up on this. And it's just, is a first team contract incoming? It could be.
Yeah.
Who knows? There's not any details yet per se, but Fernando is a 22-year-old forward from Brazil, and he signed in November 2018, has 1 goal and 1 assist so far for Atlanta United 2. Last season for Richmond Kickers, he had 3 goals and 4 assists. A good player. Who knows? I think he also has been mentioned by Frank de Boer as one of those type of players that he would love to see be able to move up and down from the USL team to the first team squad a little easier than it currently is, because right now he can't. So that's the crux of it.
Yeah.
So, if he is to be able to play a part, it's because he maybe signed a first team contract. So who knows? We don't know. But let's move on to kind of a mini kind of transfer rumor, that kind of a posthumous transfer rumor.
Yeah.
So if you want
does
to take
not
that.
exist. Yeah. So Barco, as you may or may not remember, was a target of Club America, and Barco had this to say about them. Club America was one of the teams that wanted me, but I'm happy in Atlanta and I want to stay here. My name was heard a lot, and I made it clear that I wanted to finish the season in Atlanta, and at the end of the year, we will see what happens to my future. So, going back to Club America being a big boy and one of the top teams on the continent, they were looking at one of Atlanta's players.
Not only him. I think Jose Martinez at one point, Tito Bichalva at one point, and it's I think it speaks to the quality of LA United and what our vision and what we're doing is. To be able to have a player like Ezequiel Barco spurn Club America. Yes, he had just moved over, but still, it's a very large club that wins things, and the fact that he did that, I think, speaks volumes as well.
Right.
And last item in the news is that Frank de Boer did clarify his interview with The Guardian, and I think I think at this point you can just read what he wrote. It's just one of those. I don't really think we should really go into it a little bit further than that, but
everyone has their opinion.
Exactly, and it's on social media, so I would suggest reading the whole thing, definitely for sure, because I think there are some people that maybe might have misconstrued a little bit of that, but it also is the wording that he's kind of infamous for now at this point. So
yeah, that's the one thing I have to say. It's like I don't think Darren Eales appreciates having to kind of put out mini fires, time and again in Boca Negra. So but it is what it is.
I mean, I think that comes with the job a little bit of what they do, but
sure.
I mean, I'm sure they don't want to do it in public all the time. Either, but,
right.
But anyway, that gets us to our buy or sell segment, and simply we put up a topic and we decide if we buy or sell it. First topic is Joseph Martinez should abandon his penalty hop. Do you buy or sell it?
Yeah, I gotta buy that. I mean, because he can't generate power when he's just landing and then kicking the ball in one. At least it doesn't seem like. And plus, with the keepers really not being able to move, I've always been a fan of penalty takers that just put it in the corner. Like the way he took his second penalty, and then from there you choose either right or left. If you sense the keeper is gonna shade to the Joseph prefers the left corner, so if you sense the keeper's gonna shade there, just at the last second open your hips and take it the other way. I think the hop is a little too elaborate, so I think he should abandon it.
Yeah, I sell that he should abandon it because before this month he hadn't missed from that hop. Yes, he kind of maybe went away from it a little bit recently, but I think he hadn't missed with that hop for almost a year before that. So it really, I think it's only become more of a thing recently, even though when he was doing it, it was kind of, there were some criticisms then, but at the end of the day, Joseph Martinez is going to do what he wants. And at this point, I buy whatever he wants to do, penalty-wise, scoring-wise. I mean, he has earned that right, I feel like, so. Yeah. But next topic is Campeones Cup should be taken seriously. Buy or sell?
Buy. Absolutely buy. And I think especially because of that matchup last night between Atlanta and Club America. Yeah, I think that it's a competition that going forward teams can and should take seriously. Yeah. I think there's a lot of positives that come out of it. I think we've kind of touched on, the exposure, the ability to match yourself up against another one of the best teams on the continent. Yeah. I think for all those reasons, it should be taken seriously.
I buy this on sale, I feel like. I think it's one of those where like the first year wasn't really, I think, a barn burner. This year definitely was competitive, and it's only a 2-year-old competition. Yes, maybe you want to see some expansion of it, or yes, currently right now it's just pretty much at an MLS venue. And so there is that, but if it is a 2-legged final, okay, maybe there's added legitimacy to it. But I mean, you saw the pace of play, you saw the quality of the play. It's something that I think if you asked for me to watch what type of match, I want to watch that type of match.
Right.
9 times out of 10. So yeah.
You with these caveats, man.
It is. But anyway, so that wraps it up for the new segment and buy or sell, and let's get into the match preview for Portland Timbers. And it's on Sunday at 10 p.m. unfortunately, Eastern Time at Providence Park. And it is an away game where, we've lost 6 in a row on the road.
In MLS.
Because, of course, we won that U.S. Open Cup match in Orlando. But, and on current form, Portland Timbers, they've won 4 out of their last 6, drawn 1, and lost 1. They're on a good streak right now, I think.
Yeah. Last month and a half, they're 7-2-2 overall, including a win at LAFC in the Open Cup.
Yeah. I mean, they aren't playing too shabby. They are pretty dangerous, and they're pretty good at home. Not as good as we are, but really good.
Yeah.
And so, and for us in the league, we have 4 wins, but also 2 losses. So pretty close in that regard on form. in terms of previous matchups, we've drawn 1-1 2 years in a row, at least in the regular season, and of course we beat them 2-0 in the MLS Cup final. And and so it gets to where, Portland Timbers and their style of play, they're a team that thrives on a counterattack. They're kind of eschewing possession a little bit. But they love to attack the set pieces. They love to attack down the wings. They have a bunch of guys that can shoot, that can score. And you have to really watch out for long shots from them, which kind of is a little bit of a worry, I feel like, sometimes in our squad. But
especially this season,
Yeah, and so, but they're also a team that, you can kind of exploit a little bit in some certain spots. You can definitely exploit them on the wings. You can exploit them with some skill and kind of on set pieces. So, there are a few places that we can, if we are assertive, we can drive at them and really try to, be the protagonist in this match.
I mean, don't be surprised if Atlanta actually has more possession in this match, because that does kind of play into Portland's style. So it'll be interesting to see the style matchup in this match, as well as
it'll be interesting to see what we do to counteract, or if we are assertive to begin with. So we'll see. But in terms of players to watch, man, Brian Fernandez is ridiculous at this moment.
He's the main man. Portland paid $10 million to Nexaca in Liga Meki to transfer him over. So he joined them mid-season. In 16 games in all competitions, 14 goals, 2 assists, scored in his first 5 MLS appearances. That's a record. I mean, he's the man, and he's keyed their turnaround, I think, because Portland had a shaky start to the season as well as Atlanta. And now Portland is they're in 7th place, but they're
surging.
They're 4 points off of second, and so second through 7th in the West, really. If any one of those teams go on a run, they could be the 2 seed. Certainly, Portland's thinking that way.
And you saw that last year in which how they got into the final. I mean, they got hot at the right time.
They were 5th seed last season.
Exactly, and they were able to beat a really strong Sporting KC side at that time. Anyway, not this season, obviously, but Sebastian Blanco, also another guy, 4 goals, 9 assists. A guy that you have to watch out for from long range, for sure. Diego Valeri, even a former MVP in this league, 6 goals, 7 assists. And Jeremy Abobasi, I mean, he also has 8 goals, 1 assist.
I would also throw in Diego Chara in there. We talked about them being strong in the counter. Usually goes through Chara. This is a strong team, make no mistake.
Exactly. They have plenty of weapons in attack. And so, we definitely need to just be very weary and cut out the plentiful crosses that they'll inevitably have. We have to deal with all the numerous shots that they will take, for sure, from all angles, which, I mean, it might be a tough ask if it is a little bit of a makeshift defense a little bit, which it might be. But, we've got to prevent Brian Fernandez from getting in behind, because that's what he is wont to do. And, attack-wise, let's get on the wings. Let's let Miram, let's let Gressel or whomever starts that wing back, kind of really be direct or whip in an early cross.
It just feels like this might be a match where we need to impose, and make them defend. Because, even though they're strong in the counter, even though they want to sit off the ball, they may be uncomfortable in long stretches of defending. So, let's hold on to the ball, let's attack down the wings, and let's make them run.
And so we also, along with that, we need to finish our chances.
Absolutely.
I mean, this fatigue might be kind of rearing its head at this point. I feel like, especially you have to travel cross country. We pretty much had, at this point, 3 days, kind of 3+ maybe, between Campeones Cup and this match. Not a ton, but it also is. I mean, we've had 3 games in 8 days.
Portland also did play last night, so but still.
But they stay at home, so it's ain't too bad. And so, or at least they are at home. I forget if they are actually on the road or not.
They played at home last night, and they stayed home. So no travel for them.
So they are fresher than we are, and that's a little bit of worry. So I feel like there is a little bit of maybe rotation that will happen. But getting into their injuries for Portland. Who's out? Defender Marco Farfan with a left knee injury. Their goalkeeper Jeff Attinella had right shoulder surgery on July 29th and is out for the season. He was the goalkeeper that was in the MLS Cup final.
Yeah.
And also defender Modo Jadama has a left foot injury. And so, I mean, in terms of defense, they're a little lighter, which is kind of something where we can kind of maybe try to, really, if we impose ourselves, good stuff might happen.
Right.
So that's good.
Yep.
But in terms of Atlanta, like we said earlier in the episode, Eric Remedi is unlikely maybe with a quad injury. Franco Escobar is also unlikely with a hamstring injury. And of course, Mikey Ambrose has that left hamstring injury where he's still trying to return. Brandon Vasquez, that left hip injury, still trying to return. Brett Shea, of course, is pretty much effectively out for the season.
Yeah. So, I mean, we'll see who makes the trip, really and truly.
Yeah, indeed. But before we get into the predicted 11, let's get into some of the match facts. And that's, I mean, there have been over 2.5 goals scored in 9 of Atlanta's last 10 games in MLS. Pretty lots of goals. I think.
Some goal fest.
Yeah, and we've scored at least 2 goals in the last 5. So, even less so. There's goals.
Yeah.
There's for sure. So, and then we've kind of unfortunately conceded at least 2 goals in our last 5 away matches.
Probably contributing to losing the last 6 away matches.
In terms of the very poor record on the road. So that gets us to our predicted 11, and let's go through the lines together.
Always.
And Can played well.
Yeah.
But is he going to start this match for you?
No, he doesn't. Guzan's back in, I think, and I don't know if Can will start another match if Guzan is available for the rest of the season, but it is what it is.
I think Can started this match because he was being rewarded, the Campeones Cup match, because he was being rewarded for, I think, showing out and training probably.
Sure, yeah.
But I think Frank de Boer also mentioned that, I think this was to AJC, that he was originally going to play him in the first U.S. Open Cup match, I think, and he was sick for the St. Louis FC Cup, FC match in the Cup. And I mean, there were other times where he was just unfortunately, sick or just wasn't able to play, and he wasn't selected. And he, I think definitely warrants a call here and there, because I think in terms of backup keepers go, he's one of the best in the league for sure.
Yeah.
Because he's proven through at least a half season that he's a very competent keeper. He could start for a number of the teams.
I think so.
But anyway, Guzan is between the sticks for me as well. And for that 3-man back line, who do you have?
We got, I have LGP playing right center back, Robinson in the middle, and Pogba on the left. Is because we don't really know the status of Escobar.
Yeah.
We're going to assume that the team is cautious with him. And Pogba again played well and has played well in his appearances. So I think you roll with that 3-man back line.
I agree. I mean, that's, I think it was still very strong as it ended up to be.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I agree there. Getting into the midfield, or the wing backs first, I think we're in agreement that Gressel and Miram are the wing backs.
Yeah, Miram getting some rest may be crucial.
Yeah, I think Gressel needs a rest here and there. Maybe a Miram moves over to the right, and then Pereira comes in this match. And
Pereira was pretty solid against Club America.
Yeah, exactly. And so maybe he can at least spell Gressel a little bit.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a little bit more. It's different on the right as well.
Sure.
So he'll be, but at least Miram is right-footed, so at least he can maybe at least.
I think he would
spell him,
assert himself fine. Yeah.
But I think for me, Larry and Nagby in the middle. I think you agree as well, right?
Yep,
so.
Yep.
I think
again we don't know the status of Remedi.
It's the tough part.
Will they be cautious?
And I don't want to play a double pivot, or it's not a pivot in the 3-5-2, which is what I have. And so Mo Adams and Larry, it's a little too defensive. I think you want that creativity. You want someone who can really keep the ball.
Keep
like
the ball,
does.
yeah.
Nagby does. And so I think that's we're in agreement there. And then this is where I think pretty majorly different. So you go ahead.
Yeah, so I got your usual starters up top. I have Barco kind of in the 10 position, PD and Joseph, but as we discussed before, they're pretty fluid. But yeah, I think that I know PD's played like a lot lately, but I think that he's played so well and he has not been able to really get on the stat sheet. And I think, if he can play and score, it would do wonders for his confidence. He's looking confident. He's looking great. So I think that you play a hot hand with PD and with Joseph. Look, they said like maybe he's carrying the injury, but I just don't think he's gonna keep him out of the lineup as long as he's healthy.
Fair. Yeah. And for me, I think Hyman returns in that 10 position, and I think the two strikers up top. For me, I think there is a little bit of that rotation, and then I think Joseph and PT can come on later, or it might be the reverse, and in which they'll actually get some minutes. But Barco and Tito are the strikers for me up top. Obviously, that adds to quite a bit of rotation, but I think it's one of those where Portland Timbers are so strong at home. We've been pretty diabolical on the road, but I mean, with better form, I think maybe we can turn this around. Yeah. So I'm torn. I'm torn if I do play a Joseph and PT up top or a Barco and Tito. Either way, whichever way that goes around, they will, I think, sub in for each other. Yeah,
I hope Tito gets about 20 minutes in this one.
Yeah, I think he thought that he might play a part in Campeones Cup.
Well, and that's because
it was too tight probably for him to come out.
Well, and because with the NYCFC match too, De Boer did mention he wanted to bring in Tito, but when they made it 2-1, and then the Kumarenka match, it was intense, it was tight. It's probably not the right game for him to get minutes in, So, but.
Although, I mean, he could have been running at their defense, their tired defense, especially
down a man,
and especially they were going for it later on. I mean, maybe I would have taken my chances, Barco or Tito, at the end of the match to just run as fast and hard as possible towards their goal. I mean, that would have been, Tito would have beaten Jimenez for sure.
Yeah.
So anyway, but that gets us to our score prediction. And what do you got?
Yeah, this has typically been a tight series. Each of the first two regular season matches end 1-1, and I have that again. I think it's a 1-1 match. I think that both teams kind of go for it at points, but Portland's typically pragmatic, and I think Atlanta may have to settle for a draw eventually. So, 1-1.
Okay, yeah. I think for me, it's also score draw, 2-2 for me. I think there's lots of goals in this. And so... yeah, there's going to be some shots from distance. There's going to be, I think, some beautiful goals scored in this game, I feel like, and especially with some fatigue being a factor and some susceptibility from the wings and whatnot. There might be some kind of beautiful headers being won. So, 2-2 for me, and that wraps up for the match prediction. And let us know in the comments below what you guys are predicting for this match, lineup-wise and score prediction-wise. But that gets us to our question of the day.
So we've done it. We won our first international trophy. And with the Campeones Cup, both teams were up for it. It actually ended up being a pretty intense match. Is this trophy a step in the right direction for Atlanta becoming a super club? Tweet at us. Let us know in the comments. We want to know what you guys think.
Well, guys, that's it for us today. Remember to subscribe if you haven't already. Smash that like button and share this video because it really does help us a lot. And for Mark, I'm AJ. Thank you guys so much for watching.